I always love to cover good music on this channel, and I know when I find it. And I love spotlighting groups that I might qualify again as good music that perhaps are more obscure and unknown, perhaps to a grander audience. Maybe you're somebody who's never heard of the group I'm showcasing in this video today. D'Artagnan, for me, is one of the best talents that I've heard come my way. I've been very impressed with them. And again, I was already on the path, when I first covered them on this channel, stumbling upon them one day. It was just, our meeting was destined. I'm a metalhead by my music preferences, and I have developed, especially over the last couple of years, a deep love for European rock and metal. I've been very impressed by what's available in the music library out there in the world from a variety of groups, many of which I've covered on this channel, including some that are on my list of groups that I eventually want to showcase, and I've already acquired some of the tracks in order to do so. It's my intention to bring, I guess, my deep love for European music on a grander focus. And I've loved to spotlight groups, again, like D'Artagnan, that are from Europe. They're German-based. I've been very impressed with their work, though. If you're into symphonic metal, or symphonic rock, I'd say more so along the lines of them, or folk rock, which is a genre that I had never really listened to, and I never realized how much I would love it. But D'Artagnan, I'm in a deep romance with their music offerings. I've been very impressed ever since I first covered them with my Loves in Germany, and I've given at this point 10 tracks in total attention on this channel because of, I said I was kind of stop at 4 because it takes me a while to get my music coverage up in terms of the editing. And I was going to go back and listen to their entire back catalog on my own. But I'm like, you know what? I've had so much fun covering this group. It's always a treat. I love to, again, throw attention whenever possible to groups that deserve a grander spotlight, especially in America. And I judge this, as I've always stated, by my social circle, which is rather, again, limited in comparison to perhaps others. I do keep a rather small pool of people that are close to me. Guaranteed, 100% of them are not going to know who D'Artagnan is by name. So that's how I judge it. Like, well, if my friends don't know, then they must be an unknown talent, at least to some people. I know there's plenty of D'Artagnan fans out there. I'm just, I don't have any in my close circle. I found some online in regards to covering D'Artagnan. I've been introduced to a few of you, but I love to spotlight groups that deserve a grander introduction to perhaps those of you who are looking for fresh artists to listen to. And if you're approaching this as a newbie, like I've never heard D'Artagnan before, I'm sure this will be good. Every track I've heard thus far, and I've said on faith, I'm going to go buy their entire album catalog, just on a whim, because I love them. I've covered, again, 10 songs in total, and I've been impressed with every single one of them. I never knew that I would love folk rock as much as I do, but D'Artagnan really built a special place in my heart for that genre of European music. So, well, not just, you have folk rock music from other areas of the world as well, but D'Artagnan really is a treat, and it's the first in the genre that I've ever given attention to on this channel. I've been so impressed with them. I'm always game to cover more of their work. And today I'm going to look at another track. It's actually the last one I'm covering temporarily. And probably for the get-go, I'll probably listen to the album on my own, because I've covered at this point about 5 of the tracks in total. This is the 6th. And I've judged it basically by the music videos that they've released for the albums. But I started with Felsenfest, and I mixed in, C'est La Vie initially when I covered D'Artagnan, but it was mostly based on Felsenfest. I'm like, I had so much fun with that song, and that C'est La Vie is so beautiful. And I wanted to get a better introduction. It's like, what? I don't care if the album's like a little more than a year old. I want to hear more of their stuff. So I dug back into their catalog with Feuer and Flamme into, majority of their tracks that got videos is how I kind of judged in regard to coverage. Though I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go buy the entire thing. So at this point, I've covered about 5 of the tracks thus far, and now I'm kind of wrapping that up with SOLANG DEIN BLUT. I didn't look up SOLANG DEIN BLUT. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. I didn't look up the pronunciation for this like I should have in advance. I'm going to go ahead and cue up the music video, and we can not only listen to the song for the first time, but watch the video as well. And for those of you who are newbies to my music coverage, you're not familiar with the format that I use, I try and make videos that accommodate everybody's interests. So if you're somebody in that position that's, like, I've never stumbled upon your videos before, what do I expect? If you like reading the lyrics along with the pieces as they play, I will have those superimposed in the video at the bottom of your screen for you, and they'll track along with the song as we proceed. And I will provide the lyrics as well, both in the original German writing and to the best extent of what English, online translators can provide. I mean, there's reasonable criticism to apply, because translations aren't often correct, especially when it comes to Google Translate. I use a different service, but I will provide a rough English translation for you. If you're somebody in that position, again, likes to have the lyrics available as we go along with the piece. All right, But you can watch it any way you want. Maybe you can just enjoy the track on its own, or you can watch the video as well and take, pride in that. That's sort of how you approach music coverage. All right, here we go. Solang. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Solang dein Blut. Or dein. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Hang on a second. All right, let me cue it up properly. Here we go. Much softer introduction from what I'm familiar with. Accent. Again, it's so thick. I love it. Very European. Is this gonna be like a softer ballad number? I mean, the pacing for me right now as I listen to it kind of maps it that way. I love how in this case they're using a guitar, so it's a very familiar instrument to other circles other than, let's say European rock. But even that has such a unique sound to it. It sounds European, the way it's being played. Okay. Every instrument's coming in here. Very atmospheric song. Smooth. Oh, I like that string. It's beautiful. I love the build too, it's good. Oh, harmony vocals too. Okay, it's always such a grand presentation with this group. I love it. And such atmospheric visuals. I love these mini tours of Europe. Love it. I kind of got the translation right. Solang dein Blut. So it's kind of right originally. I thought it's more like blue, like a lighter, but I couldn't tell because of the two dots above the U. I forget what that was, but that was missing, or whatever they call that. It's a much more tragic song. It's just beautiful. Of course, bring in some bagpipes. I'm game. No other group I listen to uses bagpipes, so that was the first introduction with D'Artagnan. I'm like, hey, this is great for the rock scene. Elevation of key for the end. That works. Feels like a finale. Really good. That was an interesting finish. I thought it was going to kind of end on a more somber note, but they kind of ended it in a more positive direction. Oh, it's a dedication. Okay. Although I didn't recognize necessarily the way it's written, but you kind of tell, I guess, the date. I guess the dates are written the same. That's a beautiful piece. I mean, again, that's much softer in comparison to what I've listened to. Most of the D'Artagnan stuff that I've covered is, being performed at a more rapid pace. But that was beautiful. I mean, again, a much more somber piece. I mean, even walking around in a European cemetery is fun. I hate saying that. It's like, well, it's supposed to be the opposite. Like, the song is tragic, and the song's supposed to evoke that feeling. I know. But for somebody like me who has never been to Europe, and I'm not a traveler, every time I watch their stuff, I mean, everywhere they go, it's like the scenic European imagery. I feel like I'm on a nature tour. It's so great. So even going for a cemetery where most people would probably be crying, expressing grief and sorrow, I'm watching this and I'm like, I get it, but I'm having a fun time here too. It's the experience. I love this group so much. I mean, again, that track is very distinct in its pacing from others that I've heard. But it really shows you, I mean, I love to, especially in the rock scene, there's many groups that try out various styles. And sometimes, some groups may attempt one that they're not oftentimes employing, right? And it might work, it might not. Bands, it's like a trial and error basis. But groups really find their effectiveness of craft in particular circles. And I felt that D'Artagnan thus far has demonstrated excellence when they apply symphonic and folk rock energy into their musketeer music. And the stuff it's certainly, it's had a bit of a musketeer vibe too, but the stuff that's more intense in pacing and hectic and lively, excitable, that type of music, right? They've mastered that. But they can even do softer ballad numbers. Again, range. A lot of rock bands have that, and D'Artagnan, most certainly. I'm very impressed with their work. Again, softer, really allows, I think, Ben's vocals to be stressed in prominence with that song. Oh, the accents again in Europe, I'm just, that alone always sweeps me away. But beautiful number, beautiful piece, as always, from D'Artagnan. I'm always impressed with their work. What were your guys' thoughts? I mean, that video, again, it's beautifully filmed as always. Great quality presentations from them. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are down below, as well as maybe the angle you come from. There might be some of you who are longtime D'Artagnan fans, and you're looking at this going, again, this video released a while ago. I know I'm a bit late to the party, but again, I've had so much fun, and I want to cover D'Artagnan as much as possible, so I went back in their catalog and just grabbed an extensive helping of tracks, because I'm I just want to hear more. So I stopped at Feuer and Flamme, just for the single purpose that, again, it takes me a while to get these videos up, but I've just had such a great time that I'm I want to spotlight this group more. And of course, again, like I said, this is sort of wrapping up Feuer and Flamme, but don't think for one second I'm not going to cover them in the future. If there's any new developments for maybe new work years down the line, maybe even sooner than that, because Felsenfest just released, of course, D'Artagnan will always have a place here, in my opinion. They're beautiful listen. And I hope you felt the same, again, for those of you who this was the first introduction. I'd love to hear what angle you come from down below, as well as your overall thoughts on SOLANG DEIN BLUT. Beautiful track, again, very different in personality from the other work I've heard from them, but still just as good. D'Artagnan, for me, is always a favorite. And SOLANG DEIN BLUT, beautiful German music, testament to why I love European stuff so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.